Hi there, it's Heather. Thanks for joining me. This video is being sped up and I'm having to do a voiceover because I forgot to turn the microphone on when I recorded it earlier. So that's me showing you some of the resources that I pulled on to decorate the journal cover. So I used some seed beads, I've got some pom-pom trim, I got some. This is a brooch that I made actually a few years ago and I used it for inspiration because I wanted to make some little leaves using the little seed beads that I just showed you. So that's basically some of the bits and bobs that I pulled out before I started to make it. Now, just to make the video a little bit quicker, I actually started to put some items onto the book, so I've got them already there ready to glue on. So we'll just pull in. I'm obviously having a cup of chamomile tea as well, which was very nice. So I've laid everything out onto the journal cover, ready to glue in place. And you can see that I got quite busy picking out lots of elements, and you might think it's a little bit over the top, but for me this is supposed to be an inspiration journal, so I wanted it to be very textural. I wanted the colours to really pop, and I just wanted it to really sort of give me lots of things to look at and to think about when I pick the journal up. So I've made some paper flowers there. I am doing a very short video on how to make those, but I'm also using some pre-made mulberry flowers that I purchased from Wild Orchid Crafts. That particular one, from the sunflower one, I think is just from Amazon. I then picked out a nice big red button, which is a vintage button, and that's a little, these are little embellishments that I made out of the seed beads. I used I think it's 28 gauge wire, and these are the seed beads. You can see that they're all mixed, but I picked out the colours and kept them together to make the leaves there. I also used some Swarovski crystal bicones to make some slightly larger crystal leaves there, and I've just put those onto a piece of netting. So I'll be gluing all this down using different glues. I decided to use some of the glue that I use for embellishments on paper because that holds things really fast, and that's absolutely fantastic for things like buttons. I do find when I use the hot glue, which I've got heating up actually to the side there, when I use the hot glue for things like flat buttons, sometimes they can ping off. You really have to sort of get them stuck and get the glue stuck into the little holes on the buttons, or things like flat back crystals don't usually stick very well with hot glue. That's just my personal experience. So I use the embellishment PVA glue for the paper and the buttons. The hot glue's coming out though, and I'm going to be using that for the slightly heavier embellishments, just because it was quick and it's pretty tough for these extra pieces that I've got going on here. So this is putting on the pom-pom trim. Originally I was going to put it underneath the heart, but then I sort of I lay it on the book and it did this little spiral thing all on its own, and I thought, oh, how cute. So I decided to keep it where it was, and I thought that was really sweet. It's almost it really emphasised the little flower on the left hand side there. That's actually made out of it's a paper with some flocking on it, and it's so lovely and soft. So that's really lovely and textural and lovely to feel as well. And I think it all just goes really well with the padded heart because there's just so much texture on the front of it. Some of you may think it's a little bit tacky, and it's almost like a florist has sort of walked up and accidentally dropped a load of their flowers onto the top of it. But for me, I like this look. So that's a lot of string, obviously, from the glue that I'm picking off. I'm just making sure that the flowers are stuck down really well. Now the beaded leaves that I've made, I thought it would be a good idea, rather than just gluing them onto the net, I actually twisted the wire around the net just to make sure that they were held in place properly. And they look so nice. I'm really pleased with them, but I didn't show making them because when I've got my contact lenses in, it can be a little bit of a struggle sometimes seeing close to. And I had to obviously pick up quite a lot of seed beads with the wire, so I thought that would be a bit laborious to watch, so I just made those up beforehand. But they're really simple to make. It's just a case of just threading some seed beads onto a piece of thin wire and then twisting it to make the stalk. So it's really simple to make, and it's actually quite quite a nice way to add some texture and a little bit of shine to your projects. So yeah, they're quite nice. That's the state of my glue gun, by the way. I thought I'd show you that because instead of adding something underneath the glue so that I could empty it, I didn't do that, and now it just fills up with glue basically. So yeah, that's a bit of a mess. I need to do something about that. You can't get it out once it's dried though. It's terrible. It is sticky stuff. Right, so I'm showing you my mug here because you can see where I'm going with it. The colours on the mug, it's actually a Cath Kidston mug, and it's really bright, and it's very similar sort of in feel to the book cover. So lots of different colours, massive flowers. The mug's obviously a little bit simpler design, but I did think when I looked at the mug, wow, it must have been inspired somehow looking at this. So that's just making sure that the netting itself is stuck down well. I got the netting ages ago, and I used to make some hair accessories when the kids were little. We used to make hair bows and things like that, so it's just sort of left over from one of those projects, found left over in a drawer. So there's just shoving the mulberry rose in place, making sure that it's stuck fast, and then popping the little sunflower on. I thought maybe the sunflower was a little bit too much, but I just really love that pop of yellow, so I had to put it in. And also the way the flowers sort of went from left to right across the heart, I really like the look of that. And the purple, I couldn't leave the big purple flower off because it's such a beautiful vibrant purple. And even though there wasn't actually any purple on the book itself, it just went so beautifully with the blue. So it is very vibrant, and the project is probably not to everybody's taste. You might think it's a little bit tacky and a little bit over the top, but for me this is the perfect look. It's exactly how I wanted it to come out, just really full of beautiful colours, texture, a little bit of shine in there as well, and I absolutely love it. So it's gone from quite a simple project now to something quite, quite, for me, inspiring. So I'm really looking forward to using it. I've actually got some other papers that I'm going to add to it as well that I found when I was getting the front ready. So I'm really looking forward to adding those too. So thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care. Bye.